So I'm just gonna start the repair walkthrough in chronological order. First time I was out here, I replaced the existing controller with a Hydrawise controller, 32 zone controller. It had, I believe, 28 zones working from there. When I did turn on the water, there was a leak, and then I was able to find the leak at this slab. This slab has a box. I put an isolation valve in there. That was broken under the slab, repaired that. Then I started working on the wiring. There was a bundle of wiring that is over in this island. So there's a box over in the center peninsula here, and there's a large square box that I replaced, wood chips around it. There's another isolation valve here in a round box next to it. This wire junction I worked on a bunch, and this wire junction to get everything to work from that side. I did wire tracing. It jumps from this box. This box actually tees and goes straight up the exit and over here, and then it tees again and goes up the exit on the other side and over to this large center island. There's a box here. I got all this stuff running. There was another mainline repair over here that I made while I was searching for this valve. And I had to run wire from the valve here in the center to a valve box right by the grasses. So from the center to the grasses, I had to run an extra wire because it seems that the valve on that side was an added valve. I also did some repair work on a leaking pipe in this small zone. I believe that is zone 15 or 16. So after I got all of that island working, I got everything except one zone on the far side working. And then we came to a bundle of wire over here. It is right on the corner of the building. It's right off that corner of the building over here. There was not enough wire pulled in at the retro. We must have done a building expansion. There was not enough strands of wire to separate everything. Once I got the zones separated and running and having adequate pressure, I was able to determine that there was a box here that had it's gonna be right in there, kind of by that rock, the rock over here, a valve box with two valves that run the elevated shrub rotors, and I want to say that's zone like 31 or 32, but the box is right on the corner of that building. We pulled wire from there all the way over and ran new wire into the controller, a 13 wire to have extra strands there. Got everything working there. We did have to replace this old Toro valve. It was a 220 series that was non-operational. We replaced that, rewired everything back in order on this leg to the controller. Then I came back one other time where I had fixed the brake, and there was about 4 hours I worked to get one zone working over there, and then everything was working on that side of the exit. The next couple of times I was working over here, I did when I was running wire over into the controller, I did speak at the conversation with Jose about that and the new controller. I had brought both controllers with me. Told him the ACC was better. It was going to be better suited with the flow meter. on such a large system to just really condense the running. So I put isolation valve flow meter in there when I did the repair. There's a bunch of wires and stuff in here that I junctioned, and when we ran all the wiring and everything in there, ran new wire strands into the controller. And there was one other day I worked on stuff in here, and today we dug up we found another box over here where Steve's truck is parked. Got that all operational and got the other operational. We were able to zone everything. And we made a few repairs to zones that were just large leaks that would have done the balance. I would say about 60% of the heads, give or take, out here are leaking. It's a huge system. Well, they're either leaking, not rotating. There are a few zones that don't have pressure, and one zone that I think may have a leak, that zone 32 might have a leak. Everything is operating from the controller. There are 2 valves in this island that are tied together. They just run the plant island. And then there are 3 zones on the exit all tied together. I believe, well, I know that there was some external zones added later, and they didn't add extra wire when they did that. So they stole wires from other spot and jumped stuff together, hence me needing to run new wire to get everything run adequate pressure. This is going to be zone 27 on this side. Runs 27 is 3 valves tied together, and really it runs everything from here and the center row. I did find the 3 valve boxes in here. With a loop system, you really need an isolation valve in the loop, or 2 isolation valves and a blowout on both sides of a blowout point, or 2 blowout points on both sides of an isolation valve, so you can isolate the system and blow it out. There is a box here with an isolation valve in a single blowout point. Suspect leak spot there, suspect leak spot over by zone 1. I did make a map today, and I will grab that and send that over in the email as well.